Welcome to Wine Library TV. I am your host, Gary Vaynerchuk, and this is The Thunder Show, aka WLTV, on this lazy, gloomy Thursday, Monday show. And so I am really excited about today's show because we're talking about a grape that has made enormous strides over the last 10 years, and we will be focusing on Malbec from Argentina. We flirt with it, but we haven't done it since the 50s. And so, you know, the 50s, that was a pretty good era. And so we haven't done an episode like this in almost 250 episodes. So I'm very excited, very focused on these wines. Let's talk about Malbec a little tad bit. One of the 6 grape varietals allowed in Bordeaux and was really quite popular for a long time. But then 1956 came. The 50s, oh, ironic, put them together. And 75% of the crop was destroyed of Malbec during a frost. What's funny about Malbec, and that's really was it. I mean, that pretty much faded Malbec out of favor in Bordeaux. It's been pretty much, phased out. In France, really where you're seeing Malbec at this point is Cahors, and they're doing some great Malbecs there, but they tend to be much more tannic and bigger and tighter than the Argentinian versions of the Malbec. Malbec's a very interesting grape. It's a different kind of skin than it's a thin-skinned grape, believe it or not, compared to Cabernet Merlot, and it needs a lot of sun and heat, and hence it's really doing nicely in Argentina. We've got 4 different wines here, and I'm very excited. Now that it is Monday, I can pretty much gloat that the Jets destroyed the Vikings on Friday. Please let that happen. And other than that, before I start, I want to just thank everybody who's got blogs out there. I've noticed a lot of, had time in the last couple of days to check out all the people that have links to Wine Library, and a lot of people using the badges and putting me on their blog roll, and I just want to personally thank you. Big shout out to all of you, and let's get into the first wine, which is the 2006 Alamos Malbec. $8 US. 8 being the wonderful number of Broadway Browning Nagel, so it's never been a number I've really enjoyed very much. Plus it comes out on roulette a lot when I don't need it to, which always pissed me off. Anyway, 8 bones for the Alamos Malbec, which is, a very strong little producer. It's 2006 vintage. I'm excited about trying this. A little youthful, very young for a red wine. Not seeing a lot of 06s in the market yet, so that's a little bit of fun. Let's give this a little bit of a whirl and a twirl, and you can see the color is quite nice. Malbecs tend to have some nice coloring, and let's give it a sniffy, sniff, sniff. Woo, sniff. Now this is coming off a little bit awkward. It's got some nice fruit. The tannins are very obvious. It almost burned some of my nose hair, which is quite attractive and intriguing, profound. Little hint of creaminess. There's also a little bit of armpit action going on in this wine, and I'm talking about the armpit that forgot to put the BO on. BO, actually, that's the odor. Forgot to put the deodorant on. And that's always a very clever kind of day. I mean, I've been pretty good, but I remember at least 2 years ago, one day I forgot it, and it was like so conscious the whole day. I ran to 7-Eleven. Yeah, I ran to 7-Eleven and grabbed it. Anyway, let's give this a little bit of a tasty taste. Huh. Pretty darn good, actually. Very dark. Lots of dark cherry, dark chocolate components. Some good tannins on this wine. It's young. But I can't help but think, man, this is the kind of wine for $8 that people need to experience. So many people are spending, $10, $15 looking for good wine. So many people are buying so much crap at $5 to $7. You know who you are. CKCs. And so the problem becomes that there's misguided steps towards the yellowtails and towards all these other, not the Bogle, because Bogle's actually pretty good, but the yellowtails for sure, Luna de Lunas, and a lot of the Chilean wines I just find so inappropriate and not exciting under $10. A lot of people drink those wines. This is real wine for $8. There's real tannins, there's real fruit, very subtle oak, which I think they balance way better than any Cabernet under $12 in California. Very smooth on the palate with good tannins. This is an 88 point wine. And you know what? 3 8s. 8, 8, 8. Yes! And that's what's coming through with this. An $8 wine that's going to give you an 88-point value to the table. I love this wine with pasta. That's all I can be thinking about at this point. A lot of people think traditional Chiantis and things of that nature. I think give me a little bit more fruit to work with the sauce. Alamos really brought the thunder. You know what? I'm really impressed, actually. I've had this wine in many, many vintages in a row, it feels like, and have never thought that they brought this much thunder. I have to do a little homework, because I don't know off the top of my head, but '06 must be an interesting year in Argentina, because this is good wine. Great start. I'm excited. That's a great start. Ben Marco, 2005 Malbec from Mendoza. That's where it's at. That's like 90210 if you want to be an actor. If you want to be a Malbec, you got to roll in Mendoza. 16 US dollars. Vinny's a trainer. And this wine's 90% Malbec, but it's also 10% Bonarda, which is a great grape in Argentina you find. Now, this is made by Susana Balbo, who I think is the premier winemaker in all of Argentina. So I have tremendous hopes for this wine. Just amazing how really, some of my favorite winemakers in the world, all women. It's just, they've made such an impact. I like women. Do you like women?
Yeah.
He loves them. He's horrible. I'm a one-woman girl, but...
Monogamous.
Mott's, yeah, monogamous, thank you. But Mott he's a playboy. Anyway, this wine is in American oak for 11 months, 50% French oak, 50% American oak for 11 months. It has tremendous color. I mean, really beautiful. Let's, there we go. That way they definitely get it. That like goes into the secret wine library wristband tunnel, goes directly into the mouths of all the maniacs who are all drinking wine, supposedly, when they watch this. Did you see? I mean, a good amount drink along, which I appreciate. We're getting very close, Mott, to the live tasting along with me 2-pack, WLTV free 2-pack. Mott, let's link that up. That's going to be next Wednesday, the 24th.
I thought that was a Friday.
You're right, it is a Friday, isn't it? Friday. Saved me. Anyway, let's get back to the wine. Some people are like, what the hell is he talking about? You got to go back a couple episodes. Can a Vaynerchuk help me out and post what I'm talking about? Because I can't explain myself, obviously. Very dark chocolate and very blueberry. This is like the candy that my grandma used to bring to me from Queens. That was Russian candy. And American candy, we just came to America, were real nice and small, and like Hershey bars and everything. And these Russian candies would come, and it'd be like one candy would be like this fat. And it'd be like chocolate covered with like real blueberries. And I didn't want that. I was American. I wanted artificial flavors. And I would bite it and be like, this is horrible. That's what this smells like. My mom adores those kind of candies. That's exactly what this smells like. Real blueberry candy with chocolate on top of dark chocolate, not milk chocolate. The Russians, they had everything backwards. And there was always a bear on the package, which scared the crap out of me. I don't know what bear, the Russian bear. Not the oak monster, much scarier. This wine's unfined, unfiltered. You're getting really the true flavors. The oak is coming through a little bit. I'm not going to pull out the monster. He kind of like peeked his head around the corner, but he's going to stay put. I like the mouthfeel. It's also got nice firm tannins. Kind of simple in its approach, like solid red wine. This is an SRW. I mean, that's what it is. It's a classic SRW. Doesn't do that much for me one way or the other. I like the polish. It's a nice wine. I'm going to go 88 points on this wine as well. Clearly, when the Alamos is half the price, I think it's a better bottle. I think there's some people who would prefer this to the Alamos, only because it's a little creamier. But I think the fruit is a little more pure in the Alamos. Very interesting battle back and forth between these two wines. It's really bright and fresh. Just having a little fun. Sorry. I know I'm screwing up the show, but why not, right? Yeah, the Alamos is a little bit more old world, and the Ben Marco is a little more new world, but they're both really good wines, and when one's half the price, you know where to go. Susana Balbo. Second appearance. 2005 Malbec from Mendoza, baby. Throw up the M. That's what they do in Mendoza if you will go by. You know, like here, like in Miami, they're like the 301. In Mendoza, they're like, throw up the M. They're very tough. I mean, I get very nervous when I roll through Mendoza. 2005, 22 US dollars. And this is her project, so obviously she's trying to do, you know, a little bit more of... she probably puts a little bit more love in this. Did we screw that up, Mott?
It was... the label's white.
Was this the problem?
No.
Got it. You know, I always wonder what winemakers do when they work for other brands and then when they have their own label. Do they try just a little harder on theirs? I mean, I think I would. You know, I know you would. And I think a lot of the Vaynerchuks would. I mean, you know, I don't know. Now, see here, she's doing 80% new French oak, 20% second-year American. The last one was 50-50. So she obviously believes a little bit more in the French oak style, which I don't blame her. Tremendous, you know, oak. That's where you want to roll. Beautiful color. This is even darker than the last wine. Very passionate color. This is what I definitely will give to all the Vaynerchuks that aren't with us anymore. That we hope to get back. So if you know one of those, email them to me, and I'll bring them back to the show. Though most people stay, it's nice. They like you, not me.
They don't like me.
This has a beautiful nose. What is this? Ooh, damn it. Usually I can spit it right out. There's like an eggnog. There's like an eggnog meets a cinnamon stick meets a 2x4 from Hacksaw Jim Duggan. So pick a big bowl of eggnog, throw some cinnamon sticks in there, and then find, you know, Hacksaw. You got to kind of give him a little bit, you know, just punch him in the gut. He got real fat. Take his 2x4, put it in, and kind of like pretend you're a witch. Twirl it, the eggnog with the cinnamon sticks. Give it a snippy snip. That's what this wine smells like. And then throw a couple of dark black cherries in there as well. Really nice. Really, really nice. It's the eggnog component, which I adore real eggnog. I knew it. It reminds me of the Ben Marco, but it definitely is an oomph above. It's got more tannins, more structure. It's very fascinating on the palate. What I like about the Suzanne and Balbo, compared to the Ben Marco, the first two wines, I think, are wines you can cellar for 2 to 4 years and really eat with lots of different foods, but this is serious juice. This competes with New World Bordeaux at its finest. Reminds me of a lot of the really exciting 2005 Bordeaux's I had that were more between $30 and $40 a bottle and were scored 90, 91, 92 by Parker, who is the man in Bordeaux. Give him props for that. I really like this wine. This is very, very explosive on my palate. It brings a lot to the table. I love the overall structure. The mid-palate, that is the flavor from the beginning. You know, the flavor in between that first attack flavor you taste and the finish, that mid-palate, which to me is crucial essence, the core of any wine. Like a mother in a family, you know, it's like backbone. Is extremely elegant, refined, and put together and seamless. I love how it takes the first flavor of whereas cherries, dark fruit, and kind of seamlessly goes, but then polishes itself to, I wouldn't say it's a green component, but more of a, and I wouldn't even say it's vegetal. It's almost an herbaceous flavor component on the mid-palate transition to the finish. And the finish gets very old world in its approach. It gets, you know, very dry, has beautiful fine tannins. I love when tannins are sweet and not bitter. She really killed this. I mean, she knocked this out of the park. I'm going to go 91 plus on this wine. I really like it. It's keeping me from going crazy in the scoring because at the end of the day, it's a little basic. Kind of the same problem I have with Ben Marco. There's only so many flavors going on in here. It's not really transitioning. I don't really find any flavors on the second tier underneath the tannins, so it doesn't make me feel like it's going to age and really change that whole lot. However, this wine is very well made, extremely powerful and extremely elegant. Who's powerful and elegant? I think of like an Olympics, you know, like some of the pretty Olympic, you know, skaters, right? Like Sasha Cohen or something, you know, something like that, or Tanya Harding. Anyway, let's move on. That was a good wine. This is the Nieto Caduce Malbec 2002. We did the Cabernet not too long ago, and this wine is 90 points. Wine Spectator, 32 US dollars, 32 bones. Let's give this a little bit of a rinse. 32. Quick shout out for everybody who's finding Thundercats in her attic, taking pictures and sending them in. You know I'm going to keep bringing it up because I do want to have the largest collection of Thundercats in America. This smells angelic. Can I use that word? This wine smells angelic. Big shout out to Sean Figgins, carrying my American League fantasy team to a championship. Boy, this is very pretty. This has the beautiful bouquet of flowers meets oak meets fruit. And when you have that combination, you know, I call it fuff. Flowers, oak, fruit. Fuff. When you have fuff on the nose, I get extremely excited. And I'm going to tell you why. It seems like it's balanced. And I'm excited. I'm hoping nothing's out of place on the palate. But on the nose, I get such a tremendous... What are those flowers? Oh, man, I'm not going to remember. What are those flowers that look like they have a cat face on them? You know, it looks like a face of an animal. You know exactly what I'm talking about. I used to buy them for my mom at, like, school when we'd have, like, the book fair and the flower fair. Back in grade school, Martin Luther King, Edison, New Jersey, circa 1984. The flowers that had animal faces on them. They look like koalas or cats or dogs. You know what I'm talking about. That's what this smells like. It's wild. There's also really intriguing winter fresh peppermint double twins. What was that? Double mint? You know, that double mint. You know, I'm getting that flower, that double mint gum on here. A little essence of oak, which makes it kind of vanilla-esque, which I always appreciate the vanilla. And beautiful, beautiful, beautiful blackberry, blueberry fruit. Dark fruit, not cherries and strawberries. We're going on the dark side. A little Darth Vader action on this nose. This is a kick-ass nose, almost worth, probably at least worth $3.2 just for the nose. So now if I can catch up here and bring the 28.8 rest. Ooh, was that good math right away? I think it was close. Let's give it a whirl. God damn it. And I hate when this happens. And this is why we do the show. We have to start forwarding this to email. Forward this to email. We have to start emailing and forwarding to winemakers our thoughts and our, I feel like our thoughts and our prayers, but I'm going to say our thoughts and our concerns about the over-oaking of wines in this world. This wine had the potential to be a 94, 95 point wine, to be a classic, and to be a wine that I would scream and yell and, you know, throw at the camera and go wild for you and make you buy this wine, try it, and be blown away that you can buy wine like this in the 30s instead of the 60s and 70s. However, unfortunately, and extremely not beneficial to this winery, they over-oaked this wine. Totally unacceptable. Enough with the oak in the wine world. I know, listen, let me just say one thing. There's a lot of you that are watching right now that are huge on oak, and I don't blame you at all. Remember, this is my opinions. I could be totally wrong for you, but I'm totally right for me. I'm looking for balance, and there's no way when a wine's over-oaked can you get balance, because it's all you can taste. Tell me how you really feel, right? I'm pissed. And I'm pissed because this wine's good, and there's a lot of people who like this. As a matter of fact, if you're a big fan of Jordan or Cake Bread Cabernets, I would highly recommend you try this wine. For me, this is an 89 to 90 point wine. I'm going to go 89 points because I just can't deal with the oak. The oak monster's coming in. It's ripping my goddamn face off. I'm trying to get the Thundercats to stop him, but he just kills them and continues to rip my face off. That bothers me because the fruit is so delicious in this wine. It's got tremendous mouthfeel. It's explosive. Everything is on point except one thing. It's like that boy or girl you've really liked. Everything was perfect except one thing. For me, it was you were missing a chickenpox mark. That's my thing. That's my fetish. If you have a chickenpox mark on your face, I'm all about you. It's always been my thing. Love freckles too. Anyway, 89 points. I'm going to give this wine a pass, but understand where I'm coming from. This is why points should be thrown in the garbage, but I'm still going to do them because I'm a sports guy and I like points, but I'm going to throw them in the garbage. Listen to the tasting notes. This is a wine that could be up many people's alley. Question of the day. What is your favorite city in the world? Just thought that was kind of interesting. Because you, with a little bit of me, and especially if you send me some Thundercats, we are changing the wine world, whether you like it or not.